Hi, this is EB Banuelos with the EB Group, and here in this video, we're going to explain to you how we prepare when we are selling a house or a real estate property. So in this case, we're gonna be talking directly or speaking directly with the sellers and homeowners. As home sellers, you should be prepared before we put your property on the market. And same as the buyers, you have to understand the process step by step, so it is easier for you and easier for us to work together. So the first step when you are in the process of selling a property is understanding the real estate market. When we present ourselves in the listing presentation to you as a homeowner, we're going to give you a booklet like this, and it explains step by step the process of selling a property. So like I said, the first step when we come to your house and check your property is to explain on what's going on in the current real estate market. And I always like to present this graph right here. This is a graph or a pyramid that gives us an idea on how much your property should be listed for. So if you move all the way to the top, it is pricing your property to the top value. If we go all the way to the bottom, it's pricing your property to the lowest value possible. If you go to the top, the amount of people who is going to look at your property is going to be very minimum. Very few people is going to come to a property that is overlisted. If you go to the bottom, a lot of people, a lot of attention is going to come in to a property that is listed at a lower price. Buyers are smart and they want to go with a property that is a good deal. We as the home sellers, we have to be smart about it on how we prepare your property before we put it on the market, and also the way that we present it to the buyers out there. One of the things that we like to discuss when we come to you is the compatible sold properties in the area. We will review properties that are within 0.5 miles or even 1 mile away from your property. We're gonna try, depending on the location, but we're gonna try to stay within your neighborhood and properties that are more similar to yours. Here is an example of this property that we review with a home seller. If you see the center of that 0.5 radius, that's where the subject property is at, and other properties around are compatibles that are similar to the subject property. So compatible properties are the ones that are similar in number of square feet of living space and lot size, number of bedrooms, build year, the year the property was built, and also the condition of the property. That's important too. You might see a property that is not in a really good condition, is not updated, and the price might be lower. Why? Because if the condition is not good, the property value is going to be less, right? If you have a fully updated and remodeled property, then obviously the price is going to be higher. Pricing a property is important, and that's why we want you to understand the market, and so we can price your property accordingly. Important things that we should consider before we put your property on the market is for the property to be prepared, right? If it needs some fresh paint, maybe new flooring, some updating around the property, let's say the bathroom, the kitchen, I think those two things are important to check and update if it is possible. We have to consider on how much your budget is, to put in the property that you plan on sell, and how much difference it's going to make once the property is refreshed, rather than putting the property as is. So once we have this home selling presentation and you understand how important it is for your property to be prepared before we put the property on the market, you understand the pricing as well, and we come to a good price to put it on the market as well, then we start working on the activities that we are going to follow once we start working together. Communication is key. It is important that we understand what is the expectation, of you after selling the property, how soon you want to do it, where you are moving to, so we can work towards that goal as well along your side. Things that we have to have once we start working together: if you don't live in the property, we might need access to it, and we will need copies of the keys for us to go inside of the property and start working. If you're gonna be living in the property, we will be making an appointment with you so we can stop by and start working on the preparation of the house. Small repairs, like I said, if it is something cosmetic like paint, flooring, updating some parts of the house here and there, a nice curb appeal is gonna help. All these things we have to plan ahead of time. Usually it takes 1 to 2 weeks depending on the availability of the people who is going to be working on this project, and yourself as a homeowner. How available are you for us to start working on it? So preparation of the property is important, and here are some points that we should keep an eye on, and that is declutter, deep cleaning, paint, flooring, small repairs here and there that is going to prevent the buyer to use as a tool of negotiation, right? Sometimes we think that small changes won't make a difference, but believe it or not, they will. There has been the times where I replace the outlet covers, outdated outlet covers for new ones, and it makes a huge difference. Or molding, this old molding around the house on the walls, between the wall and the flooring. If you change it for something more nicer or painted, it's gonna make a huge difference, right? It'll make a big difference on your pocket once you sell the house too, because it's gonna get buyers motivated if the house looks more appealing. Curb appeal is really important as well. If people drives around and sees your house and it looks really nice, they might be more like inviting to come in and see the property. So we want to make sure that the property looks nice so they feel or envision themselves living there in your house. We will check on city permits just to make sure that your property is up to date with the city, and if there is any problem, maybe we can catch it before we go in the market. That way we avoid wasting your time, the buyer's time, and our time as well. One of the things also that we consider to help on the sale of your property, and that is going to make a huge difference, is when we stage your property. So if you live in the property and you don't plan on leaving the property, what we can do is helping you to declutter the house and help you organize your house with items that you have, and maybe adding some other items in the house that is going to help it to pop up and to make it nicer and more inviting. Remember, we're going to schedule appointments with photographers and videographers for them to come over and take really nice pictures and videos as well, so we can expose it online, social media, and in any way possible that we can use for marketing your property. Another thing is a 3D video. We call it Matterport, the Matterport video. And what it does, it takes a video of your house corner by corner in every way through the house. So prospect buyers out there can go in the house online and they can kind of see your house without stepping into it. I always recommend buyers to go and see it like in real life, because it might be different perception that they get through pictures, videos online, rather than going directly to the property and see it themselves. In the process of selling your house, yes, again, we go into a timeline as well, and we want to move as quick as possible because time is of the essence, right? If we wait a week, 2 weeks, a month, our market may change. Why? Because we use compatible sold properties in the last 3 months to price your property. So time is of the essence, so we want to do things as quick as possible so the market doesn't change on us. So like I said, we have to have a schedule ready. Number 1, we get the keys to the property. Number 2, we start working on the preparation of the house through those repairs that I mentioned. Number 3, we check on city permits, making sure that everything is in order so we don't waste time on anyone. Once we have everything ready on the property, if it is something that we can do in the property, we do a staging. We use Mugitani Staging. It's a great company, really nice staging design that they have. We use it for our properties. So far, we've been impacting ourselves with the use of that staging company. So it is a good strategy to sell them. Landscape as well, curb appeal, we talk about that. We'll schedule an appointment with photographers and videographers so we can get professional marketing going. The sign is an option for you. I recommend it so people know that the property is for sale, and that is a post sign outside of your house if it is possible. The decision is yours. I highly recommend it, but you can say yay or nay. Lock bags or a Supra installed in the property. So a lock bags is only for us to have access to the keys if we need to share that key with a contractor, you know, if they need to do any work in it. We have a lock bags that is called Supra, and that is open only by licensed real estate agents for them to either preview the property or show the property to one of their buyers. The property is going to be exposed in different websites like Zillow, Realtor.com, Trulia, Moboto, and many other websites out there. Social media, we're heavy on social media. Your property will be in social media as well. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and as many as we can do, right? And we will make sure that people see your property. This is part of our marketing. Emails to all the home buyers out there who are willing and able, you know, most likely qualified to purchase a property like yours. Postcards around the neighborhood, or to specific buyers or prospects in the neighborhood who are more likely to be interested in your property. We will call the neighborhood as well to make sure that everyone knows that your property is for sale. And once we reach out to the neighborhood, we will most likely invite them to an open house. Same thing with other real estate agents in the area for them to come over and bring the buyers that they have under their hands. So this is the schedule that we follow. Obviously, we're going to do open houses as well. So, you know, there is an opportunity for everyone to come over to your house and see it and get excited about purchasing. Through the process of selling your property, there is going to be the need of two documents that are really important. One of them is the transfer disclosure statement. This document is a questionnaire of the condition of the property, and it is important that you fill it out and understand those questions so you can provide that information to the buyer. The SPQ, Seller Property Questionnaire, a series of questions for the buyer to understand what you know about the property. Some of these questions you might know the answer, and some of them you might not know. So it is important that you be honest when you answer those questions on these two forms. There's going to be a lot of paperwork that we're going to need to fill out along the process, but we will keep you going step by step. Like I said, communication is key. If you have any questions, just let us know, and we will be more than happy to explain anything that you don't understand. The buyer will most likely schedule a home inspections. So we have to let them do their home inspections for them to understand the condition of the property. Now it is going to be completely up to you if you agree to any of the repairs or credits that the buyer might ask you for. As well, the buyer will bring an appraiser from the bank. If he or she is financing to purchase your property, you have to be open to it. Those are conditions that the buyer has for them to perform fully and purchase your property. And last one is the mortgage loan approval. Before we go in escrow, it is important that you as a home seller make sure that the buyer is financially able and approve. And what I would do as a real estate agent representing the home seller is a cross qualification. And what I do, I connect the mortgage lender who is helping the buyer to a mortgage lender that I trust representing the seller for them to talk. And then my mortgage lender will be reviewing documentation from the buyer through their agent, through their mortgage lender, to make sure that the buyer is financially able to perform on the purchase of your property. I think this is important, and this is going to save frustration and the struggle later on in case the buyer is not able to perform, right? You prevent that from happening by checking before their financials. As a home seller, it is crucial for you to know the numbers, right? To know and understand how much it will cost to sell your property. And we understand that. We, the EB Group, understand that. And that's why we created this, we call it net sheet. This net sheet is a conservative list of items or transactions that are done through the process of selling your property, or fees that are involved in the process, like escrow fees, transfer fees, title fees, real estate agent fees, and all this. When we have our first home selling consultation, you will get this as well, with the numbers that within your property can be sold for. That way you can calculate how much the capital gains or profits will be at the end of this property. Like in this case, for this property somewhere in LA, this property could be sold for anything between $675 to $720. So we give you two net sheets, one at the price of $675, and we tell you, okay, you might end up with this much after the sale of the property, or $725, and do the same. You might end up with this much at the end of the process of selling your property. One thing that it is important too is talk to your tax advisor to see if there is any taxes that you need to pay after the sale of the property in any capital gain. So up to this point, we discussed on the marketing, preparation of the property, the documents that are important for us to have, TDS, transfer disclosure statement, SPQ, seller property questionnaire. Those are important for you to understand, and this will be reviewed on our first home selling consultation. Through the process, something that I want to make sure that you understand, it's good to know the preliminary title report, so you know if there is any loans that you knew about or didn't know about, or if there is anything that is affecting title, right? You might have better explanation and understanding as the homeowner than me coming as a real estate agent and helping you out with the sale of this property. Through the process, by the time that we are in escrow, at the end, the buyer will like to come over to the property and check the property again. So we have to make sure that repairs that were agreed to do were done before the closing of escrow. It's a promise that we make to the buyer once we agree to any of those repairs. So we have to make sure that we do it before closing of escrow. And here in this booklet that I will give you on the time that we meet, you will see examples of our staging, marketing. Here is a piece that we use for marketing once we get your property. It's a small booklet which is really easy for prospect buyers or neighbors to take, with pictures of the property. This is an example of what we do. This is actually really interesting. A lot of people, a lot of home buyers like to see the floor plan of the property that gives them an idea on how to envision themselves and how the family is going to be living once they move in. Small booklet and a bifold that we also give away. And this is part of our marketing materials that we offer. Another thing that we give to our clients is this booklet from title. It has all the information, taxes, documents about title. I think it's good to have for your own records. This booklet at the end, we can give it to the buyer since you are selling the property. So most likely if you don't want to, you don't need to keep. I know it's a long video, but I think it's helpful. If any questions in regards of selling your property, let me know. I hope I covered the most important things here in this video. Like I said, in the process of selling the property, it's always good to understand it. That'll make things easier for you as a home seller, as a homeowner, and for us as the ones helping you out with the sale of your property. I know it involves a lot of money, and it is a big step for you moving from one home to another home, but we are here to make it easy for you. And maybe you want to buy something else, moving to a better place, or another house plus an investment property. The possibilities are limitless, right? The sky is the limit. So if any questions, just let us know. We're here to help you, and happy to continue building that wealth for you and your family.